Well, good morning, folks. This is Sty North. Here we are, out at the lean-to, the morning after. The morning after our first day out at the lean-to. Now, if you'll recall, yesterday we had a lot of activity. We had a lot of activity here at the lean-to, and excuse me while I'm zipping up my coat. Try not to zip my beard into it. But, yeah, yesterday with all the activity we had, it was pretty warm out. Everything was wet, soaking wet, snowing. It was in the mid-30s. Well, it didn't stay that way. It got pretty cold overnight. It's probably about 4 degrees out right now, 4 or 5 degrees. There's a pretty good wind. It's like a steady breeze. Once in a while, gusts of wind, 5-10 miles an hour. It's starting to snow again. And I would say that we're right around 0 or 5 below with the wind chill, but fortunately the back of the shelter is protecting me. The lean-to faces kind of southeast, more east I would say than south, and the wind is coming out of the northwest, so it's hitting right behind the shelter, which really helps me out right now. So anyway, my fire held up all night. When I went to bed, I put 3 6-foot length logs on the fire, and I went to bed at about 10:30. I got up at 5 o'clock, and my fire was out. Well, I stirred it around a little bit, and I took the ends that were left after burning all night, flopped those in the center, and sure enough, there were just enough embers. Within 5 minutes, it took off, and I had a nice fire going again, and here we are. I got the fire going and threw a couple larger logs on it, and managed to get myself, I got a pot of coffee all cooked and sitting there just staying nice and warm. I made myself a nice shaga tea to start the day. I gotta have my shaga, so here I am having my shaga tea. That's starting my day. And I got a little water boiling there on the side because I'm going to have myself some breakfast. It's just one of the freeze-dried camp breakfasts. Something quick. I got to get something in me, you know. But here we are. So, what am I going to do today? Well, today we're not going to have much to do because I'm going to break camp. It'll take me maybe 45 minutes or so to break camp, get all the gear together and lashed on the sled to head out with. I might knock down a couple of trees for firewood for my next trip out here, so that it's all done and ready for me when I get here. At least knock the big lengths down, and then I can buck them up after I get out here. But then I'm going to head back into the homestead for the day. Like I had said in an earlier video, tomorrow it's supposed to be bitterly cold, 10 below for a high for the day, and they're talking 35 degrees below 0 for wind chills because we're going to have some pretty stiff winds. So that's not really a good day to be out here if you don't have to be. I could be, but I don't have to be. And I do also have to, I'm not sure, I may make my once a month run to town and get my supplies. On a cold day like that, it's a good day to go to the city. So that's what today is about. So this will be the only video I do today. So what I'm going to do is we're going to recap real quick what we did out here. Okay, yesterday I come into camp yesterday morning and got set up, and I had to do a little bit of maintenance stuff over at the base camp, and a few little maintenance items, pick up stuff and get the gear unloaded and into the lean-to. And then we started videoing, and we made us some shaga tea. We talked about shaga and the benefits of shaga, and we made some shaga tea. And I hadn't had my shaga tea that morning, so it was probably around noon when we got to have shaga tea. Well, then I did a few other things around here between that video and the next one, which was we jumped into the little project with the homemade Dutch oven, and we got to go over how it was built. I hope I stressed enough that that Dutch oven cost very little. All of the parts involved were scavenged parts, except for the big eye bolt and the little clips that I put around it. And all of those clips, I bought those at a dollar store. You get 8 on a card for $1. The eye bolt I got at Walmart for, I think it was 96 cents. So for everything, and then we paid 50 cents for the one pot that's inside of it. So I have $2.50 tied up in it. And boy, did it make a nice muffin. That muffin turned out awesome. It was just, I loved that muffin. It was great. So we got to do those two things, and we got to talk a little bit about some outdoor issues and bushcrafting issues, and just enjoyed the time and kicked back and relaxed and had a good time out here at the lean-to. At least a good time for, it'll be about 30 hours worth of time that I will have been out here. So I enjoyed every minute of it. Oh, and then if you'll notice, Stye's not wearing a do-rag. He's not wearing his wide brim hat. He's wearing the old rabbit today. It is a cold one, so when I got up this morning, I crawled out of that bunk. Right away, I said, well, I want to keep my ears, so I'm gonna pull out the old rabbit and throw it on my head. This old rabbit hat, you'll notice, it's pretty. It looks like it's got mange on the front. The sides, ear flaps are great, but the front looks like he's got the mange. Well, you'd look like that too if you were a rabbit that was over 30 years old. I've had this rabbit hat for at least 32 years, and it's been through the mill. Every winter, I wear this hat every winter, and it's been through some rough brush, and it's been all over. I mean, it got its work out. This thing cost $20 back when I bought it, and so what's that work out to? About 75 cents a year for a nice rabbit hat. So what, he's got a little bit of mange. I had somebody say to me, oh, Stye, look at that hat you got. And I go, what about it? And he says, well, that's one ugly hat. I said, I said, I know it is. And he goes, well, then why do you wear it? And I said, because it makes me look good. So the uglier, the better. It makes me look good. I think he got the idea. But, so here we are. And what do we do next? Well, I think what we're going to do next is I'm going to watch the weather. If we're going to have weather at night that's above 0 degrees, where it's not dropping sub-zero, I'd prefer not to be out here in sub-zero if I don't have to be. If we have above 0 weather, and it looks like it's going to be stable and not snowing too hard, if it's a light snow, that's not a problem. I'll be back out here. And whether I'm doing overnighters or just day-long visits out here and hanging out, start the fire, I'm going to come up with a list of things that we're going to video. We'll do some bushcrafting skill stuff. We'll get into we'll get into some of the bushcrafting and outdoor camping issues that they're not so much demo, but they're more discussion issues. We'll do some videos on those. I'll do some videos on the thriving aspect and where we come from on the thriving aspect. We love to thrive in the woods. Eat well, sleep well, camp well. Yeah, that's the way I like it. Let's enjoy ourselves. Um, Anybody can learn to survive and suffer their way through it. But once you learn how to thrive in the wilderness, you don't worry about surviving. It comes secondhand. Thriving is taking surviving to that next step. I would rather thrive while I'm out in the wilderness. I find it hard to survive in a city environment. I find it very, very easy to survive when I'm out here in the wilderness. So, this is Stein North. Thank you for staying with me out here at the lean-to. All of you newcomers, check the earlier videos. Look at the whole lean-to series. I hope you'll like it. Please subscribe. All of you, come back. If you have a question or some information that you think I could use, and I could use a lot. I learn every day. Leave some comments. That'd be great. And again, from all of us, Big Jim, Rory, and Stein North, of course, and the rabbit, and Blondie. She's still in the bunk. We can't wait to see you again. Watch for our upcoming videos, and you all have a very nice day.